Welcome back. The government of St. Lucia has embarked on a new visioning process for the city of Castries. The first phase will run for 4 months to end in December 2018. The aim of this process is to make Castries more compact, mixed-use, socially inclusive, better connected, and more resilient to climate change through integrated urban planning. The Castries Redevelopment Review is also guided by international policy frameworks which St. Lucia has signed on to, such as the Sustainable Development Goals and the New Urban Agenda.
In 2008, the government of St. Lucia, via extensive consultation with a multitude of stakeholders, sought to articulate a vision for the island's development via a quadrant development plan, of which the city of Castries featured as a significant element of this plan. Fast forward 10 years later, and there is need to determine both the extent to which the vision for Castries has informed development over the last decade, as well as the extent to which the vision remains relevant in light of changing economic activity, as well as the advent of new global international policy frameworks. Government has mandated the recently established National Integrated Planning and Program Unit, NIP, in the Ministry of Finance to focus on the Castries Redevelopment Project by first articulating the 2030 vision for Castries using the 2008 vision as a benchmark. Howard Wells is the director of NIP.
On the 2nd of November, we held what was the first of its kind, the Castries Urban Forum. And the forum really looked at bringing together ideas. We held several focus group meetings, and this was essentially a plenary where we brought all the various stakeholders from those focus groups into one room to hear out what their ideas were in terms of the redevelopment of Castries.
Stakeholders at the forum included representatives from civil society organizations, various government ministries, including tourism and infrastructure, the Chamber of Commerce, professional organizations such as the Engineering and Architects Association, schools, emergency services, and various religious denominations. The forum concluded with 7 clear declarations outlined as part of the visioning for Castries.
Of those, for instance, we looked at the whole idea of control of transportation, so access to Castries, making Castries a vibrant city. Most people were of the view that Castries slips past 5. So really, how do you bring back life into the city? We also looked at the whole idea of heritage, right? Castries historically was a place of strong culture, strong heritage-related activities, but now we've seen that most of this has disappeared. So again, the grouping wanted to see how we could incorporate those in whatever vision that is ultimately spelled out for Castries.
The NIP director said that consultations are still ongoing and an opportunity will be afforded parliamentarians on both sides of the House of Assembly to make contributions towards the new vision for Castries.
Once we've collated the information that we have to date, that at some later stage, the government ministers as well as the opposition would be given an opportunity to see what we've had, an explanation of the process, and of course an opportunity to comment on what we've done so far.
The United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, has partnered with the government of St. Lucia on a Castries Vision 2030. The NIP director is optimistic that this effort will bear more fruit than other visioning exercises in the past, as it will outline tangible, doable projects which can be rolled out for Phase 2 in 2019. For the National Competitiveness and Productivity Unit, Glenn Simon reporting.
One talented art teacher is painting the way forward for St. Lucia to become an open-air gallery. Hot 7 News caught up with the artist to discuss his recent work on the illustration of local children's novel, Once Upon a Time in St. Lucia. More in this report.
Art pieces which look to inspire greatness within the minds of both young and old have been placed in strategic locations throughout St. Lucia by one talented art instructor, Naja Simeon. The artist spoke with Hot 7 News to shed light on his artistic journey and where he is looking to take it.
The mural started about 3 years ago when I returned to St. Lucia from university, and I saw the place was bare and there were no galleries to show my work or anything. So it's like one gallery and they were only doing like professional artists who have a background and stuff. So we decided to create something called an outdoor gallery, which is literally put paint everywhere. So I started with my alma mater, my primary school, Solidus, and then it just spilled over to everywhere.
The artist explained the impact that the murals have on schoolgoers and also revealed the importance of artistic partnership and volunteerism in the creation of mural artwork.
I worked a lot with volunteers, Volunteer St. Lucia, Rotaract Club, with Sherwin Dukes Bryce, and all of us came together with all other young artists in the area and we started painting. It started in the south and now it has spilled over to all schools in the north and anywhere I can put my hands on. The students now have a visually rich and visually stimulating environment, which, I don't know, they just enjoy school more because they have a nice school. And they do get involved, especially when I did it at Grosile Primary. I got my students here at Grosile Secondary involved. When we did it at Babuno, the kids got involved. When we did it at V4, the students themselves chose the image and I was just guiding them along and painting the more difficult pieces, but they get very involved.
Simeon also took the time to speak on his recent illustration work done for the children's novel Once Upon a Time in St. Lucia, written by Jacynthia Anius Lee.
Well, they were all watercolor illustrations. I had to actually read the book, read all the stories and get an idea of what the story is about, and then she would tell me what scene she wanted illustrated, and then I had to just, try to conjure an image that would depict that scene. Even if it's just one little illustration, it has to show a vivid image of that scene.
The artist hopes that St. Lucia can become a mecca for outdoor artwork that will attract visitors to the island and promote St. Lucia as a leading destination for art lovers worldwide. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solej Alfred.
You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. Coming up next, sports news with Tennyson Glasgow.